I'd like to welcome to the stage our first speaker, Silvio Perucci, Managing Director at AppRadar, and he's going to share his vast experience on organic growth with us. So, Silvio, please.
Thank you very much. Very happy to be here, and also a big shout out to all the team of SplitMetrics for making this program happening, actually. So today I want to talk a bit about ASO, also give you a use case here, and also, of course, tell you what AppRadar exactly is about and how you can use AppRadar to nail your app marketing, especially in the ASO area. So briefly about myself, as mentioned, I'm Silvio. I'm Managing Director on AppRadar on the SaaS product. And also I have been with the company for around 4 years by now. So I have been from the very early on, I would say, where we started to increase getting away from a keyword tool only up to a more holistic app marketing software. Just as Eugene from SplitMetrics mentioned just before, there's multiple facets to app marketing, and AppRadar covers quite a few of them. So let me show you what AppRadar is all about. We can see that AppRadar has many different use cases. For example, one of the most dominant ones is the keyword intelligence use case, where it's all about finding the right keywords for your app to really stand out in the app stores. And then we also are very proud of our ASO workflow tools that enable you really to not only identify keywords, but also implement those keywords directly within the Apple App Store, as well as the Google Play Store throughout AppRadar in the software. So you don't need to go to the consoles, you don't need to log in, you can all do that via AppRadar. Then also AppRadar is very known for spying on competitors. So you can understand what competitors are doing, what strategies they're doing. You can see when they have changed something, what they have changed. And also you can sneak in and really try to understand how many downloads are they making, how did their keyword strategy change over the time, and so on and so forth. And lastly, there's one section that I'm personally very proud of. It's the rating and review section that we just have in the last couple of months really worked on heavily to really bring it to the next level and also integrate AI features in that area. So here we have also been able to really utilize AI to automatically answer all the replies that are coming in. And it's just with the click of a button, you enable it, and the AI automatically replies to every single review that comes in, depending on the configuration that you would like have. So I have brought with me also, as said, a use case that I want to go through with you. It's a very simple use case, but yet it's something that is really important to understand and also to see the power of ASO and especially the power of keywords in nowadays app marketing. I have looked at the app Arise, one of our long-term customers. Arise is a calorie counting app, very popular in the App Store. And what we can see here on the right side is the search visibility score for Arise in the time frame between August and October. And you can see in Australia, Arise has had a drop here in the beginning of September in terms of keyword visibility. At the same time, however, we also identified that Yazio, one of the biggest competitors of Arise, has gained a lot of visibility in the same time frame. So you might wonder yourself as an app marketer, what's going on? How can I identify what has happened and how can I change it? Of course, that this downward trend does not continue. So with AppRadar, there's multiple options that you can take, but one of those options is certainly to look at the different keywords. So when you look at the keywords, then you can see that you have here a lot of keywords that have actually dropped in the rankings. So that means when you look here, I have highlighted some of them that I have a very high search volume as well. So 31, 59, 40, and so on. And those keywords are really keywords that are very painful when you lose rankings on them. I cannot show the keywords due to confidentiality of Arise because it would kind of outline their app marketing strategy in terms of keyword strategy. But nevertheless, you can really see that those keywords have quite significantly dropped. And you have to keep in mind that Arise is a highly optimized app out there. So really the smallest changes already have small effects on Arise that really make a difference on the bottom line. What we can also see is that we have looked at the app timeline of AppRadar, and also we have identified that there have been changes to those keywords or related keywords, such as the calorie and the calculate, and also the tracking and stuff like this, that has ultimately impacted the drop in rankings of those keywords. So now you ask yourself, okay, how can I change that? And the answer is you can change this quite fast with AppRadar again. With AppRadar, I already said it before, we have one of those very amazing tools inside that really allow you to utilize the store listing editor and really publish all of the things right away throughout AppRadar on the App Store and the Google Play Store. So you work with your keywords, you're curating them basically, you're tagging them in order to have the next app update coming up. And then you right away implement them on the left side, whether it's the title, the subtitle, the description, as well as the keyword field. And you just press a single button in the app, and then it goes live on the Apple and Google Store. This is what we have done. And now let's be quite curious what has happened after this change. We can see, luckily, the strategy worked out, and we were able to fight back actually the decline in visibility. Not only have we been able to really gain again valuable ranking positions on the top 10 keywords, but also we have gained one ranking position better on the top 20. We did lose one, yes, but at the end of the day, it's a really good result. And also, as you can see, we increased by 7 to 8% again in terms of visibility, which is a value that AppRadar calculates for you. But also at the bottom line, the total impressions increased by 18%, which really means that a small change in visibility has actually a quite big influence on the impressions that the app is going to get. And all of this you can very easily navigate through and also work with AppRadar and understand what is happening behind the scenes. So just to show you, this ASO use case is absolutely valid. And nowadays, also in 2024, you will be able to work with keywords. You will be needing to work with keywords, I want to say almost. And also, when I look now to the future a bit, what I think that app marketing is all about, and this will be here now my last slide for this section, it will be about the topic of how AI can really contribute to the future app marketing stack. We have been one of the very first ones in the industry that have actually implemented AI in our product. Back in February 2023, we have already started to implement the AI, generative AI feature into our review summary. That means you're very easily able to read summaries automatically and get the outcome just by the press of a button. So you understand what your users are saying, what you should change, and also what users like about your app. And we believe at AppRadar that in the future, we will heavily work on integrating new AI functionalities into the app marketing stack. So that means we will focus on keywords, we will focus on increasing the quality of those keywords, also search volume and so on. All those data points we believe that we can increase in terms of quality with the help of AI and also with utilizing our data points that we have been gathering. So thank you very much. You can reach out to me via LinkedIn or via email. Happy to chat. And thank you so much for taking the time to listen to me.
Silvio, thank you very much for the insights. It's amazing to see how AppRadar are covering so many different areas that our customers definitely would profit from, and also the connection with AI. Yeah, right. It's the buzzword today. Thank you so much for being with us. And we are moving on to the paid UA solutions and some real life experiences, best practices from James Haslam, Senior Marketing Manager EMEA at Mintegral, a programmatic ad platform providing cross-regional user acquisition, monetization, and creative solution. James, happy you are with us tonight. Please take the stage.
Cool, thank you. Hi, everyone. Thank you for joining me. I am James, Senior Marketing Manager at Mintegral, and I'm here today to walk you through our recently released feature that is Target ROAS Bidding, or Target ROAS, or ROAS Bidding for short. So let's talk about Mintegral and what can marketers currently do with Mintegral. For those who haven't heard of us, we offer a range of different solutions for marketers and monetization folk. We offer a range of different tools for marketers and monetization folks who are looking to maximize user acquisition or app growth if you're on the monetization side. For the former, we've always prioritized providing advertisers with versatile bidding options. And aside from the traditional methods like CPM, CPC, CPI, we now offer Target ROAS for in-app advertising campaigns. Target ROAS bidding empowers advertisers to acquire quality users, of course. It also optimizes for the scale of acquisition that you might need and the quality of the user engagement within your app that you're seeking. Target ROAS is useful for advertisers aiming for profitable growth too. It allows for the real-time analysis and prediction of user LTV with the flexibility to adjust bids to meet your ROAS goals. Target ROAS utilizes automated bid optimization, which also minimizes manual effort thanks to machine learning, the other buzzword of the day. By making dynamic bid adjustments, our software ensures high-quality user acquisition, and with it, you can target premium users even within sub-channels that may not have performed so well in the past. Target ROAS is suitable across a variety of different app genres, but of course, you're going to expect that casual, hyper-casual, and mid-core gaming sort of dominates the sphere. The clients that work with us at the moment include Homer Games, Playgendary, and WebEye, and they've also have used target ROAS bidding to unlock day zero growth while increasing overall share of ad spend to good effect. And we also have this case study on our website if you want to seek this data later down the line. If you want to give ROAS bidding a try, it's available to all app developers currently working with our platform. If you're not currently a customer and curious to try our new technology, there is no harm in reaching out after all. In terms of recommended budget, we do generally advise developers to begin with a strong bid and at least 500 per day in spend. And as you'd expect, raising your campaign spend enables our algorithm to gather extensive data, which leads to more refinement of the model performance and probably fluctuations in how you deal with your bids. And that's just the first of a few best practice recommendations we do have for target ROAS. Of course, you've probably all heard of these if you do work with any sort of programmatic tool, but I mean, you know, I'm overstepping myself. During the initial phases, everyone was pretty much aware of the learning phase. It is no different with this target ROAS thing. We do request that people do share full post-back data with Mintegral, which allows our algorithm to identify high-quality users efficiently within their budget constraints and leads to improved user acquisition results and minimized initial setup costs. It's also important to set realistic ROAS target. Advertisers should remember that aiming for high ROAS doesn't always lead to better results. It's important to understand how your chosen target can impact the volume of installs that you attain. And so setting an overly ambitious target might actually limit the reach of your campaigns. Instead, you might want to consider basing those target ROAS on LTV as well as the historical ROAS performance of your apps. It's no surprise that any campaign really rests on the creatives, and so your creatives will matter much into how your ROAS performance goes over time. Advertisers can also run CPI campaigns in tandem with ROAS. If you continue to run CPI campaigns and are already doing so with Mintegral, that can offer you a balanced approach to both scale and quality, and also help you understand your performance over time. Let's set a few expectations. What should advertisers do when performance is not so aligned with expectations? First, it's important to understand that the initial phase of a target ROAS campaign involves data accumulation and machine learning calibration. Of course, this is the learning phase all over again. During the stage, all machine learning needs time to learn. And as such, patience is key. But beyond the learning phase, you might experience a decrease in performance after 20 days or so. In such a scenario, there are several key areas to investigate. The first is examining the overall performance of your app to determine whether this trend is affecting all of your channels or if it's just certain sub-channels that the machine learning is working on. You may also want to look at any decreases in the install to view rate or click-through rate. If you notice a decline, it will be wise to update your ad campaigns with new creatives to improve your engagement. It also helps if you have both this cost per install CPI campaign and target ROAS running simultaneously. Then you can assess whether both campaigns experience performance declines or if it's just on one channel or another. Then you can find the root cause of the problem, whether it's your unperforming CPI channels that are causing the issue or something else. And of course, you can reach out to us if you are seeing this decline and we can work with you to rectify the situation. Of course, we will continue refining the functionality of our products in future, including expanding our ROAS capabilities from day 0 at the moment to day 3 and day 7, which will ensure more granular and effective performance tracking over time. Additionally, we'll also be introducing an IAA and IAP targeted ROAS bidding solution in the near future as well. I know there was a quick rush through, but that's all from me. If you'd like to learn more, please reach out to us at mintegral.com/en/contact. And thank you for joining.
Thank you, James. That was very cool to see all the results that you shared. And I also encourage everybody to please go to a Mintegral website and check some more stories there. And so I would like to welcome our next speaker. It's Alexandra Subac, account executive at our wonderful SplitMetrics. And she is going to cover the real success story, that's my favorite part, of how automation of Apple search ads and App Store optimization brings enhanced results. Alexandra, please, it's a pleasure to have you tonight.
Thank you so much, Galina. Hi, everyone. Well, as Galina mentioned, my name is Alexandra, and I work as an account executive at SplitMetrics. And first and foremost, I would like to thank you all for joining us today. Hopefully, everything that we share will be insightful and useful for your current business, mobile growth strategy. And specifically, me will be sharing the success stories on Apple Search Ads automation. And before I do share the success story itself, it would be important to cover the marketing technology that we used to actually get to that success. Well, at SplitMetrics, we do have two products and an agency. The first one is our flagship product called SplitMetrics Acquire. And this is the Apple Search Ads automation platform where you can optimize and scale your Apple Search Ads campaigns. The second product is called SplitMetrics Optimize. This is our A/B testing platform where you can test any element of your product page or in any other environments for both iOS and Google Play. And the last but not the least is our SplitMetrics agency. This is a full cycle marketing agency that can support you both in your user acquisition and App Store optimization. Well, since now we're on the same page of what we have here, let's move to the success story itself. Restyle. Restyle is a publisher specializing in generative AI tools for creating content. And once they come to us with the app Restyle AI Video Generator, basically this is the app that transforms your photos and videos into art pieces by AI. I'm not sure if you're using ones, but my favorite ones were the Viking style or Game of Thrones things. But again, a huge trend for the app. And they came to us with the request to increase their metrics in Apple Search Ads, STTR and conversion rate, and also boost organic traffic. So we have these two requirements and we started working with them. Starting with Apple Search Ads, when they started working with us, they got the possibility to optimize their campaigns with automation and seeing the full funnel metrics. So while the automation was taking care of all the manual tasks possible, they were mostly concerned about more strategic decisions, how metrics were correlated with each other, and optimizing their campaigns storefront by storefront. Well, since now we have Apple Search Ads optimized and everything is going in place, then we started working with App Store optimization. The Restyle team came and said all right, what if we add cartoon word to our title? And they used SplitMetrics Optimize to test if it's a good idea. They created two emulated pages for the top charts for their app. Why top charts? As you can see on the screen here, there is nothing that can distract a user when choosing the app, right? So this is the best place to test your icon, title, or subtitle. And basically from here, you can see the clear decision-making process of your user. While running the test, they realized that the name Restyle cartoon filters got better conversions, so they decided to move on with the name. Then, of course, we made some of the work with screenshots and app videos previews as well. I have no idea why, but many publishers, for some reason, reject the existence of app video previews. But we should never forget that 40% of Apple users actually have their power mode on, and all of those users automatically played. So this is the huge opportunity for you to showcase your app. Of course, there is the rest of the 60%. And in this case, you would have the frame, which basically describes the essence of your app. So you would still get those users to your app. So we've worked on Apple Search Ads, we've worked on the title, screenshots, app video preview, and what were the results that we got? when we look at the performance of Apple search ads, I would like to emphasize the date range that you can see on the screen, which is basically 2 weeks. We were able to increase the TTR by 35%. When talking about the conversion rates, we were able to increase it by 6.5% using the automation, the expertise of the team to help the Restyle team optimize their campaigns. All right, this is for the Apple search ads. What about App Store optimization? Well, because we worked both on Apple search ads and App Store optimization, we were able to get the organic ranking for cartoon filter as 15th place. So we were at the 50th place, we got to the 15th. And this is what we usually say at SplitMetrics. You should never, working on Apple search ads, you should never forget about App Store optimization as well. So here you can see the result on working on both of the areas. And of course, not to forget about the impressive conversion from impression to downloads, which increased by 62%. Well, you could say, all right, yeah, we've heard about SplitMetrics, yeah, good solutions, but what's next? So here I am today to tell you about the future outlook of us. First of all, AI-powered features. I'm not sure how many times we heard AI today, but I have a glass of water and I created the game of taking a sip every time I hear AI. But yes, we also gonna be focused on AI-powered features. We're gonna fuel our current tools with AI to make sure that you focus on the strategy decisions while the AI works on something manual that you could save time on. We've been also focusing for a while on building the ecosystem. We want you to be covered in terms of your mobile growth. So eventually, we're working with our ecosystem, making it grow, and maybe you should stay tuned for some news. All right, that would be it for me. Thank you so much for your attention. Have a beautiful day, everyone, and passing the floor to our beautiful host, Galina. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Alexandra. These are the cases I love the most, talking about the success. Wonderful. Thank you. So let's move to the creative tech now, and I am delighted to welcome Nancy Roberts, the president of CRAFTSMAN Plus. And I actually personally had an opportunity to work closer to Nancy in one of the past companies. So I am super delighted to see her today and to hear her talk about technologies and markets and how to empower the creative teams to produce high quality ads at scale. Nancy, please join us. Super excited to hear what you have to say.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Galina. It's been way too long. And Alexandra, thank you so much for those insights. Super interesting. I'm very excited to be here and joining the SplitMetrics App Growth Week. My name is Nancy Roberts. I am the president of CRAFTSMAN Plus, and we are a leading creative ad technology company working with brands such as Nike, DraftKings, Activision, Ralph Lauren, Duolingo. We're a Google, Meta, and TikTok creative partner, and we create interactive ads for multi-million-dollar ad campaigns. So today I'm going to be talking about keeping it fresh and the best practices when it comes to creatives. So let's think about the challenges of creatives. Think fast, because you only have 3 seconds, because that's as much time as you have before you get a user to scroll right past your ad and not click on it. So not only that, but the lifespan of your creative is also shrinking. Marketers optimize campaigns. We identify the best performing creatives, but over time, the performance of these creatives starts to decline, and it's natural. So if we as digital marketers feel annoyance when we're seeing the same branded content for months on end, think about how the consumer feels. So we have to think about ad fatigue, how to create high intent creatives while also increasing installs and CTR to the App Store or the Google Play Store. So let's step into what do you need. Within the sector of creatives, you need to consider what type of ad you want to use to create and deploy for your campaigns. And this can include creative direction, if you're going to use UGC, static, video, what type of creative strategy you'll use, whether you'll use interactive ads such as playables, and beyond that, will you want gameplay capture or even run a digital out-of-home campaign? It can seem pretty overwhelming when you think about it. It's a lot to consider. And on top of that, the fact that novelty invokes almost an immediate response, it fades just as quickly. The more an audience sees the same ad over and over, the more creative fatigue becomes a factor, and the more you're likely to see your ad be ignored. In fact, you'll start to see a drop in impact in as few as 3 views. So here are 3 tips that we put together to keep it fresh. Tip 1 is you'll want to monitor your performance metrics. As marketers and performance marketers at that, this is always top of mind. Use tools like SplitMetrics and your MMPs, as well as gathering data from the network partners that you're running your ad unit. Know your customers. Pay attention to the demographics and the data to help you identify who you're targeting. This should be your North Star. You should always be keeping your customer in mind and really understand all of the use cases. And third, leverage creative agencies or in-house teams that have the capability and the capacity to execute campaigns at scale. From my previous slide, you saw that there's so many different aspects of creatives. And so you'll want to really keep all of these things in mind when you're trying to either build in-house or thinking about leveraging a creative agency. And then make sure that the creatives you're running include, at the minimum, these 3 key mediums. Make sure that you're trying to use video ads, static ads, playable ads, and even look into UGC. So at this time, I have a poll question for everyone. So I'm wondering if you're using playable ads in your campaigns. All right. Well, it's great to see that so many of you are considering playable ads. DraftKings also considered the same by keeping their creatives fresh, and they saw some surprising results. We saw an overall improvement of decreased time to install of 72%. That's faster than that of videos and static ads. And another client, also in gaming, saw their App Store traffic increase by 65% through the use of playables because their user intent and engagement to the ad led to 40% increase in installs. So we're seeing a lot of really interesting results when we're engaging audiences to interact with the ad. It creates a sense of engagement, and there's also buy-in. So they're not only seeing your branding, but they're also playing a light version of the game as they're moving through the experience. And so there's higher intent when it comes to actually clicking on the download now. Awesome. Thank you so much for your time today. It was really great to present about Craftsman Plus and one of our use cases.
Thank you so much, Nancy. It was great having you with us. And I personally love playables, and I think they're actually working. So that was awesome to see you sharing the real case as well. Thank you. And so we are moving to the last but not least, obviously, presenter for today, Reed Kuhn, Senior Director Business Strategy at Brunch. And he's going to be covering brunch-linked marketing solutions that should be a foundation of any growth cycle. So Reed, thank you for being with us today. And please, the stage is yours.
Thank you for having me. And thank you for the prior guest for teeing me up like this. I've heard some recurring themes that I think are high value. So let me begin just by giving a very quick 10-second overview of Branch. We are a mobile deep linking and attribution company. So when you think about the role that we play, it's 2 sides of the same coin. We want to link users into the best experience on mobile and also provide the data to those platforms so that they can measure everything as they do it. And my role there sounds a little bit generic, business strategy. I'm essentially the in-house strategy consultant. So my team works with customers in every industry trying to figure out what are the best mobile use cases and what is the value of app adoption and app engagement. So we're very much in on apps. So that's where we live. That's where we want our customers to be. We know that those users convert higher, they retain longer, they have higher average order values and a better experience, as well as being more secure and faster. So how do we do that? This general strategy, it seems high level, but it applies to every business that has an app. And when you think about it, why do you invest so much in building and maintaining an app? It's because you want users to be there. So we're going to break this problem into just basically two major steps with a bonus at the end. One, how do we drive app adoption? How do we get people to click and download those apps? And we've heard a lot of great examples on paid channels, but I'm going to argue that there are also great opportunities across owned traffic. And once we achieve that, once we get a critical mass to have downloaded the app, how do we deep link them into the app, no matter where you are across channels engaging with users? Because there's probably more opportunity than you're currently capturing. In the background, we're always going to be measuring this. We're going to be measuring everything from before the click to during the click to what happens after, even if it has to go through the app install process, the App Store. But we want to provide that to the platform so that they can then return to this cycle and optimize step 1 and step 2. So let's pause. And when we think about mobile apps, I want to pose this to the audience and launch this poll. Where do you most want to deep link users from engagement channels into the app specifically? And we have a lot of channels here. I'm hoping we actually get a nice mix of responses, but we'll leave it up for a few seconds. We got paid ads, email, social media, SEO. Yes, you can deep link from SEO into the app. Offline, of course, OTT. So some of these could be owned organic channels that you're normally interacting with. Some of them could be paid. Even on the social media side, that could be paid as well. And let's close it up, see where people landed. Okay, so a lot on the paid ads, but look at social media popping up very strong. SEO outperforming email, did not expect that. And a little bit of offline. Sadly, no one picked OTT, which is essentially streaming devices. How do you connect people from a streaming device into the app? Well, if you've ever tried to install a new streaming service on your TV and you had to sit there and type in your email address with your remote control, you know how tedious that is. That would be that use case. But the good news is that all of these are in play. So that's the main takeaway, is that we should be driving app adoption from all channels, not just paid channels, but owned organic traffic. And then once we have those users with the app, we want to deep link them into the app no matter where they are engaging from. So we're going to talk about these two big buckets separately. One, how do we drive app adoption? We have multiple platforms. When you think of the app is really the most valuable asset that you have in terms of speed, privacy, conversion rates, retention. So it's a very high performing platform. How do we get people there from other owned channels? And most of these businesses who have an app also have a website. Whether a user is on mobile web and they are 2 clicks away from going to the App Store, downloading the app, or desktop, we are seeing more and more QR codes on desktop, both in a reactive way, just upgrading your app landing page and adding a QR code. Now we're seeing people trigger a QR code based on user behavior saying, hey, continue this journey in the app. Track your order in the app. Now that you've created an account, make sure you have the app so that you can do all these other things. So desktop app adoption is a high value use case now, and it's very easy to do. And the same applies to offline. We're seeing ad campaigns that are offline, whether they're in print media, direct mail, or commercials. If anybody's watched American football on Amazon Prime lately, you're seeing QR codes in the lower left corner of most commercials these days. So this is a lot of what we used to preach was best practice, and now we're starting to finally see it in the market. Okay, so maybe we've solved app adoption, or at least we have a critical mass of app users. Where and how do we engage with them to ensure they deep link directly into the app? And I want to remind people that a deep link is not just an app open. That is an unsatisfactory experience to believe that you're clicking on particular content, and yet you're going to the homepage. Or maybe you haven't even signed in yet, and then you're left on the homepage. A deep link takes someone through that process into the app to particular content or even a feature. So when you think of a really advanced use case, you might put an email for an abandoned cart for someone that was shopping and then they left the session. You can put an email with that item and say, hey, supplies are limited, click now. And it takes you directly into your cart of the app. The conversion rate on that is very, very high. You're not just hoping that they come back to complete the purchase. You're actually driving that engagement proactively. And this is an example of all the different places where we can use deep linking, whether it's in email, social media, again, desktop, triggered QR codes, or on mobile web. These are just some of the visuals just from one customer of ours, Reddit, that's doing deep linking in many ways, in many different scenarios. And it's very, very advanced use case. The end result is that now we're back to the attribution question. When you use deep linking across paid and owned traffic, you reduce those blind spots. And in this graph, we actually painted a picture that Branch can accelerate your app adoption or app engagement above and beyond not using our tools. But you may also deduplicate some of the paid and organic overlap. And so depending on what networks you are, you may be able to claw back that revenue, or at least have a more accurate view of what your actual cost per install is by deduplicating traffic across channels. And when we think of all the different ways that we can touch a user journey from activation in the app is really just the first point. Once we have that, we have all these other channels that we can engage with to drive up user lifetime value through high quality app engagement and even feature adoption. So think of a channel where you're not necessarily buying anything like your bank, but you might be interacting with features that are high value, like paperless opt-in or freezing your account when you leave your wallet in the Uber. So those are all interactions that could have been done with a deep link. So that's my view of the world in terms of driving app adoption and app engagement. And thank you for joining. If you want more information, scan this QR code, check out our website. And I am pretty easily findable because I have a weird name. Thank you. We have time for a question.
That was an amazing presentation. Thank you so much. Yes, David.
No, I think we do have time for one more question, Reid. There's a question in the chat there if you'd like to answer it.
Yes. Can you direct me? Which one?
I can indeed. One more question. How does your solution help with influencer marketing campaigns?
Great one. So this is one of the newer areas where we're seeing massive opportunity, whether it's affiliate or giving out deep links to influencers. But it's essentially the same thing. Once you have the SDK installed in your app, you can then democratize those deep links and give them out to the masses, whether it's user-to-user sharing or tracking an influencer as if they are their own ad campaign. So you would treat them like an ad agency and allow them to drive traffic directly into the app. We've seen it be very incrementally additive. It doesn't cannibalize existing networks. It just allows you to measure a lot more effectively. And when a user has the app and they click on that link, they go directly into the app. So whether you're selling fashion or even an artist promoting their own music on Spotify, they can use their own links in social media and link people directly into the app to that content.
Brilliant. Vivian Sinclair, there you go. From the man himself, you have the answer. Reid, thank you so much.